Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Nana Firdaus, and on today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew these bolero sleeves that can be used on your sleeveless gowns or when you want to cover your arms when you wear white sleeved abaya. Without further ado, let's get started. So for these bolero sleeves, I'll be using half trouser length of stretchy material. When I say stretchy, I mean extremely stretchy. The more stretchy your material is, the better. So you'll be needing half trouser length, and the measurement you'll be needing for this is your sleeve length and your shoulder width. So the first thing you will do is you're going to fold your fabric. You're going to fold it into two. Then from the folded edge, you're going to mark half of your shoulder width plus your sleeve length plus extra 1 inch hemming allowance. So if half of your shoulder width is 7 inches and your sleeve length is 22 inches, that's 29 inches plus 1 inch hemming allowance, that's 30 inches. So to make it much easier, you make sure that the fabric width that you are using, the width of the fabric that you are using will be 60 inches. So if you fold it into two, that is the exact amount of material that you'll be needing. For the length of the bolero sleeve, you are going to measure the widest part of your arm, which is your bicep. So whatever your bicep measurement is what you'll be measuring downwards this way. If your bicep, the width of your bicep is 15 inches, you are going to measure 15 inches downwards. If it is 13 inches, you measure 13 inches downwards, because you need to fold your fabric into two to create your sleeves. And if you are using anything less than that, then it's going to be tight. If your fabric is very stretchy, you don't need to add extra sewing allowance. But if your fabric is not as stretchy, then you need to add extra 1 inch sewing allowance to your bicep measurement. Once you are done with the cutting, it's time to join it together. All you have to do is weave all the ends. Then once you are done weaving the ends, you're going to hem the shorter end, which is meant to be around your wrist. So you hem both ends this way. And after hemming it, you're going to fold it into two. Then you use your pin to mark the middle of your fabric. Then from that point, you are going to measure half of your shoulder width. You measure it from the folded edge inwards this way, and that is where your sewing is going to stop. So I'm going to mark that on both sides. So if your chalk is not writing, you can use your pin to indicate where you will be stopping, which is half of your shoulder width. After marking it, then you can measure again to be sure that you have your sleeve length. Once you are done with that, you are going to fold your fabric this way with the right sides facing each other and pinning the middle together. Then I'm going to start sewing from that shoulder width point that I measured. I'm going to sew it down to the wrist, or from your wrist down to that point that you marked where your shoulder width stops. So you are going to measure your wrist width, which might be 3.5 or 4 inches. You are going to measure it, then you are going to be sewing it down. And then you repeat the same thing for the other sleeves too. You measure your sleeve width, which can be 3.5 inches if you want it fitted, or 4 inches if you don't want it fitted. Then you're going to sew it down to where your shoulder width stops. And that is that for your bolero sleeves. All you have to do is you're going to turn it inside out and it's ready. You can cut off any excesses that you have around your wrist area and weave it again, and that is that. If you found this tutorial video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, suggestions or tips you would like to share, kindly drop them in the comment section. Have a great day. Ma salam.